Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for Wednesday, February 26th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. It's going to be a 9-game main slate on both sides, 4 teams on back-to-backs. In the morning, I'll be posting out my injury report. They'll have the injury reports for all the teams but the 4 that are on the back-to-back. Those 4 teams I'll have coming out later on in the day, as well as all the other injury updates as they do come out throughout the day. And then I will be posting my updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, or as those changes do become available. And then last but not least, I'll be posting as many of the starting lineups as I can get to throughout the evening down in that comment section as well. But without further ado, we get started with the DraftKings side. We're going to start off at that point guard position. We got Josh Giddey here at $7,700. We're looking for 38, 39 out of him, averaging just over 35 so far in the season. A little bit tougher matchup versus the Clippers, but if he gets James Harden on him, going to be a good matchup. If he gets pretty much anybody else, probably not going to be the greatest, but Josh Giddey is on a 3-game tear as of late, so kind of riding that hand here. Feels a little bit point chasey, but I'll take some upside with Josh Giddey in this one. Bulls are pretty banged up at this point in time. Ayo Dosunmu, I think, is probably going to miss once again. Nikolai Vucevic is doubtful, so a lot of usage to go around for a guy like Josh Giddey in general. I do think he has a solid chance of getting 40 DraftKings points, and we've seen the upside in his 3 most recent games. Then we move down to shooting guard with Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks. $6,700, looking for 33, 34 out of him to pay off at 5 times value. He's currently averaging 34.5 so far in the season and playing extremely well as of late, so currently do have him projected for about 37, 38 in this matchup. A little bit of a slower pace down spot against the Miami Heat, but definitely do like his upside once again. Then at small forward, I think this was kind of my hardest one of the day, but I ended up on Kelly Oubre Jr. at $5,900, looking for 29, 30 at him, averaging just under 29.5 so far in the season. There is no Joel Embiid for probably the foreseeable future, so the usage is there to go around for guys like Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, and Paul George. So definitely like Kelly Oubre in that elevated role, playing big minutes, getting a couple extra shots out there. Have him currently projected for 30, but does offer a little bit of upside for more, maybe a little bit downside for less, if he goes out there and his shot's not quite going down. Then we move down to power forward with Keyshawn George of the Washington Wizards. He's at $5,000, looking for 25 out of him to pay off at 5 times value. He's up to about 20 fantasy points per game. It's a good matchup versus the Portland Trailblazers. Should be a pretty back and forth one between 2 less than stellar teams. Keyshawn George been in that starting lineup, getting big minutes as of late and playing relatively well. So currently I'm projected for 27, 28. He's going to be a guy that's going to be in these core picks until his price tag kind of matches up with what it should be at this point in time. Then last but not least, I had a debate here because there's 2 really good pay down options at center today. Actually, if you look a little bit further, if Kyle Filipowski ends up starting, he's price tag a little bit elevated at this point in time. But you could look at him. You could look at Day'Ron Sharpe, Trendon Watford with no Nick Claxton for the Brooklyn Nets. But Andre Drummond and Zach Collins are going to be the 2 main ones, as Nikolai Vucevic is listed as doubtful for the Chicago Bulls, and Joel Embiid and Yabusele are both out for the Philadelphia 76ers. So Drummond should get the start. It could be Edembona getting the start, but I would prefer Drummond. I think even if he doesn't start, he could do enough splitting minutes there at the same time as well, as he's a really good fantasy point per minute producer. He's only at $4,000, so you're only looking for at least 20 out of him. And I do currently like him for about 28, 29 in this matchup, especially if he's in that starting lineup. And he does come with a ton of upside for even more, if he goes out and plays relatively decent sized minutes. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you got $20,700 remaining, $6,900 remaining per player. So it looks a little bit more like a balance build type of day. We'll see what other values do pop out throughout the day. I do kind of expect them to be a decent amount, especially going into the day. And there'll be some other guys that we're keeping an eye out for. Maybe Andrew Nembhard, if Tyrese Halliburton ends up getting rolled out. He's listed as questionable. TJ McConnell, the traditional backup point guard, is also listed as questionable. So it could be some value on that Pacers team just in general. But lots of different possibilities as the day moves along. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So on the FanDuel side, at the point guard position, we're going to go with Josh Giddey once again. He's $8,300 over here, so looking for 41, 42 out of him, averaging 34 so far in the season. Been playing really well as of late. It's a tougher matchup versus the Clippers for the most part. If he gets a lot of James Harden, that could be decent for him, but if he gets other defenders, some of those other better defenders, Chris Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr., Kawhi Leonard, who is coming off his own little foot injury, but a lot of different options of who could actually guard him. Might make it a little bit tougher one, but no Nikolai Vucevic, as he's listed as doubtful. Ayo Dosunmu probably going to be out once again. So there is opportunities, minutes, and usage to go around for Josh Giddey and he's been on a 3-game tear as of late. If he does anything close to that once again, I definitely do like him and the upside that he could have. But $8,300 probably getting up there in the higher range of price tag of what we're willing to pay. But I do currently have him projected for about 41, 42, which is kind of what we were looking for out of him. But he does definitely come with that upside for more once again. Then at shooting guard, this was the last position for me today. I ended up on Keon Johnson, $5,900, looking for $2,930 out of him. Been in that starting lineup, playing good size minutes as of late. This game could potentially be a blowout versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Maybe that hurts him. I know Killian Hayes being around. Killian Hayes isn't good, but that does hurt some of the point guard minutes for Keon Johnson overall. But there's not too much left out of this Nets team. If Cam Johnson doesn't play, there should be a good amount of usage to go around for Keon Johnson just in general. So definitely do like his upside. Currently, I'm projected for about that $2,930 that we're looking for out of him. So it looks like a relatively solid, steady, safe option, even though this game could potentially be a blowout. Then we move down to the small forward. We got Keyshawn George here at $5,400. So he's $400 more expensive than he is over on DraftKings, looking for 27 out of him to pay out of 5 times value. Currently averaging just under 20 so far on the season. Pretty much everything I said on DraftKings still applies here. Good matchup versus the Portland Trailblazers, playing big minutes as of late, and, 2 less than star teams, so this game should at least be pretty back and forth, and even if it's not, he is one of their young players that they probably want to see out there on the court more times than that. And I do currently have him projected for 27, 28 fantasy points. Has a little bit of upside for more, but looks like a really solid, steady, safe option at that small forward position for us today. Then the perks of FanDuel, we get to play Zach Collins and Andre Drummond together. So Zach Collins is only power forward eligible on FanDuel for some reason. Not sure why that's the case, but $5,000, looking for 25 out of him. Should be in that starting lineup for Nikolai Vucevic. He does come with some pretty decent upside. Currently have him projected for 28. Could have a little bit of upside for more, maybe just a little bit for less, as he's technically listed as probable, a little bit banged up, but I'm not really too worried about that. And Jalen Smith is projected to be out once again for the Chicago Bulls, so not really too much else there at that center position unless you're going like Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, somebody like that, which really isn't too exciting overall. And then last but not least, we move down to Andre Drummond once again. So on FanDuel, he's a little bit more expensive. He's $5,000, looking for 25 out of him, averaging just under 19.5 so far in the season. But once again, no Joel Embiid, no Yabusele for this game. So Drummond either should get the start or split minutes with Adam Bona. And even if he's going out there, if he's getting 24 minutes, the fantasy point producer that he typically is, he can pay off at $5,000 in 24 minutes. And I do currently have him projected for about 28, 29, but definitely could come with some upside for more, especially if he gets 26, 28 minutes. There is a very, very large potential for Andre Drummond to absolutely smash in the spot. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you got $30,400 remaining, $7,600 remaining per player. So a little bit more money remaining on the FanDuel side. Probably have the opportunity to pay up for a 1-star player if that's something you really want to do. Maybe we'll get some value throughout the day that allows us to pay up for 2, but looks like a very, very exciting 9-game main slate overall on both sites. Definitely looking forward to this slate. But with that being said, these are my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then once again in the morning, I'll be listing my early morning injury report. That will have all the injury reports for all the teams except the 4 teams on the back-to-back. Those 4 teams will have their injury reports updated later on in the day. I will also be posting injury updates throughout the day down in the comments section, as well as my updated core about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock. That will be left as a pinned comment. If there's any other additional changes after that point in time, I will leave them as a reply to that pinned comment as well. And then last but not least, I will be posting as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the evening as well. So definitely be sure that you are checking up down in that comment section as we do get closer to lock, so that you do have the most up-to-date information as possible. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have NBA DFS going on. In terms of the core pick videos, Tuesday through Friday, I have been posting some NFL draft content in the more recent weeks. We'll be continuing to do that, especially this week as we have the NFL Combine. We'll be doing probably a winners and losers video at some point in the very near future, once the Combine has concluded, and then definitely be on the lookout for some more NFL mock drafts as we do head into the NFL draft just in general. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you're a brand new user on any one of those 3 sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100, and then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS for Wednesday, February 26th.